Hello dear students, welcome to online classes. So yesterday, means in previous video we have read the first chapter, the lost child, and in this chapter we have studied that how the child was behaving with his parents and how the child was enjoying with the different types of things, like first thing that he saw that sweets that he wanted to have, but he did not ask because he knew very well that his father, means his parents, will deny to purchase for him. And the second thing that he found, that garland of kulmohar. Then again he just moved for the third thing, and the third thing was the pole, a person who was standing with the pole, and the pole was just having different types of balloon, means rainbow you can say. And the fourth thing that he saw there, that is snake charmer. And the fifth thing that he wanted, means he could not stop himself, and he demanded. And at that time what happened, we will start from here, okay, that what happened. So when he said to his mother and father, please mother, I want to go to a roundabout. So what happened there? There was no reply. He turned to look at his parents. They were not there ahead of him. He turned to look on either side. They were not there. He looked behind. There was no sign of them. Means when he asked, when he was demanding, when he said to his parents, please father, I want to go to the roundabout, but he did not get any answer. So he was started to looking everywhere, but there was no sign of their parents. He did not find, because he was lost. His parents were not lost, he was lost, and he was searching them. A full deep cry rose within his dry throat, and with a sudden jerk of his body he ran from where he stood, crying in real fear, mother, father. Tears rolled down from his eyes, hot and fires. His flushed face was convulsed with fear. Panic stricken, he ran to one side first, then to the other, hither and thither in all directions, knowing not where to go. Mother, father, he wailed. His yellow turban came untidy, and his clothes became muddy. So after that, a full deep cry rose within his throat, dry throat. Means what happened at that moment? He started crying. He started crying, and he was running here and there to search his father and mother, but he could not find. He was shouting, he was panic, he was hot and fires, means he was just searching, he was just crying, and he was very afraid of that moment. He was just searching his father, but he did not get them. He did not find him. So he was just only one thing he wanted. What? Mother and father. He was shouting here and there, and he was searching. And at that moment, whatever the turban he wore, it was just untidy, and he became muddy. Means his clothes were looking very dirty. Okay. Having run to and fro in a race of running for a while, he stood defeated, his cries suppressed into sobs. At little distances on the green grass he could see, through his filmy eyes, men and women talking. He tried to look intently among the patches of bright yellow cloths, but there was no sign of his father and mother among these people, who seemed to laugh and talk just for the sake of laughing and talking. Actually, when he was running here and there, so he just saw that green grass. He could see green grass, and where he just started to find out his what? To find out his parents, but he did not find it. He was just started to search from the patches of his muddy clothes, but he did not find. And there was no sign of his father and mother, and all the people, and means men and women who were standing over there, they were just busy with their talking and laughing. Okay, they were just having fun, but he was lost, so he did not have too much fun. He ran quickly again, this time to shrine to which people seemed to be crowding. But now this time he ran, means there was a shrine means a temple that all the people were just going together there. So he also ran over there. Every little inch of space here was congested with men, but he ran through people's legs. his little sob lingering. Mother, father, near the entrance to the temple. However, the crowd became very thick. Men jostled each other. Heavy men with flashing murderers' eyes and hefty shoulders. Okay, so not a small space, means every little inch of space here was congested with the men, means that the way where the persons, where the men and women who were going to have a worship of the god, they were just going over there. So but a little space he could not find, but how did he manage to go from there? He managed how? Between the legs of the men and women. He tried and he went from there, and he was sobbing, he was crying, and he was just asking, he was just calling out his mother, his father, mother, father, mother, father. Near the entrance, what he saw that all the people were just fighting with each other to enter that gate, gate, and the people who were going over there, they were very heavy. Some were very heavy, some were very slim, and who were very heavy, they were just looking like a murderers, means who can kill him or other person. So they were just looking like that. The poor child struggled to thrust away between their feet, but knocked to and fro by their brutal movements. He might have been trampled underfoot had he not shrieked at the highest pitch of his voice. Father, mother, a man in the surging crowd had heard his cry, and stooping with great difficulty, lifted him up in his arms. Anyhow, he managed to enter there, and he could not shout because the voice was, because so many people were there. They were just shouting, they were just howling. So his voice was suppressed over there because of the voice of other people. So in that crowd, one person was there, and that person managed to lift him up, and then carried him from there in his arms. And then he asked, what he asked? How did you get here, child? Whose baby are you? The man asked as he stared clear of the mass. The child wept more bitterly than ever now, and only cried, I want my mother, I want my father. So when he carried him away from the mass, means crowd, so he asked so many questions. And what did he ask? First of all, he asked, how did you come here? And who is your father and who is your mother? So when he asked these types of questions, so that means that the child started crying more loudly, and only he was saying, what? I want my mother, I want my father. The man tried to soothe him by taking him to the roundabout. Will you have a ride on the horse? He gently asked as he approached the ring. The child's throat tore into 1,000 shrill sobs, and he only shouted, I want my mother, I want my father. But before that, what he wanted? He wanted to go to a roundabout. But this time, this strange person was offering him, but he did not accept it. He refused. He was only asking about what? His mother and his father. And now you can see the picture also. This little child and the scene, snake charmer and the strange person. The man headed towards the place where the snake charmer still played on the flute to the swing cobra. Listen to that nice music, child, he pleaded. But the child shut his ears with his fingers and shouted his double-pitched strain. I want my mother, I want my father. The man took him near the balloons, thinking the bright colors of the balloons would distract the child's attention and quieten him. Would you like a rainbow-colored balloon? He persuasively asked. The child turned his eyes from the flying balloons and just sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. Actually, after that, he went to where? the snake charmer. He just thought, the strange person just thought that maybe that a snake charmer will distract his sadness, means because he wanted his mother and he wanted his father. So he said that, listen to nice music, child, you will enjoy this. But what he said, no, he just closed his ears and he said, I don't want to listen anything, I want my mother, I want my father. So at that moment he just carried him where? To the person who was having balloons. So he just thought that with the help of different types of, means different colors of balloon, it will distract his mind. But what he said, I don't want to see anything, I want my mother, I want my father, nothing else I want. The man is still trying to make the child happy, bore him to the gate where the flower seller sat. Look, can you smell those nice flowers, child? Would you like a garland to put around your neck? And after that he carried him to where? To the flower seller, and he said, do you want to smell different types of flowers? He said, no, I don't. The child turned his nose away from, just like that. The child turned his nose away from the basket and retreated his sob, I want my mother, I want my father. See, when he was carried over there, so he just turned his face, means he did not want to smell that flower. So because of that, he turned his nose and he said, I want my father, I want my mother. Thinking to humor his disconsolate charge by a gift of sweets, the man took him to the counter of the sweet shop. What sweets would you like, child? He asked. The child turned his face from the sweet shop and only sobbed, I want my mother, I want my father. But after that, the last thing that he was offered by that strange person, and that was, he asked, which type of sweet do you want to have? But this time he again turned his face and he said, I don't want anything, I want only my father, my mother. So this was a story, and I hope that you have understood that what happened in this story. So thank you so much, class.